Okay, so today we're going to be taking a look at a new release, Space Chef on Switch, and it also runs backwards compatible on Switch too. Now, first of all, I do want to say here, very quickly, this video is sponsored by Quali, the publishers. But as always, the thoughts here, entirely my own, so if you do enjoy this video, do me a favor, hit subscribe. It helps out the channel a huge amount. Alright, now, let's get into it. So first of all, a Space Chef, what is it? Well, it's a cozy adventure game. I think that's the best way to summarize it. So think restaurant management alongside a surprising amount of exploration and combat. You're basically stepping in to run a family business. It's a small delivery restaurant service. It's operating out of a slightly battered space trailer. And yeah, your family are away for a while. So you're the one keeping this corner of the galaxy fed. And right away, I just want to talk you through what the first couple of hours are like, because it immediately makes one thing clear. There's a lot going on here. So the food side, things start small. You've got a few early crops, kind of like this little farming area, and bugs that are lurking around your home. These bugs and those crops, they quickly become ingredients themselves. So first, what do? Well, you fight the bugs. Then you cook them up on a grill that you constructed. Cooking is a timing-based minigame. Basically, nailing the perfect flip, it boosts the quality, it earns better reviews. Then, once it's cooked, you hop into the ship for the delivery. And this, it's not a land and kind of hand over the bag situation. Deliveries are basically Paperboy in space. You fly past houses, stations, and odd dwellings with that order queued up. And just when you're in range, a button prompt pops up. So yeah, I guess our character chucks that food out of the hatch and hopes their aim is decent. It is simple, but satisfying, and it keeps deliveries quick. So the focus stays on basically everything else that you're juggling. And with progression, there's going to be a whole lot of menu items to uncover and cook up. And you'll even be managing your menu itself. Basically, you'll ensure no one can order something you don't have ingredients for. Exploration though next, and this is really for me where Space Chef has me most curious. Exploration isn't mission-based or marked with map icons, it's truly freeform, so you launch into space and you just, you go. Glide between locations, between asteroids, maybe you'll find debris, maybe scrap metal just floating out there will lead to a junk field you can salvage. Maybe you spot a location in the distance, and for me it turned out to be a bar full of, let's say, unique characters. I've stumbled into a fading celebrity's home and their ego, that definitely arrived before I did. I found a scrapyard where I could recycle my junk, and yeah, that made it usable materials. And then of course, there's the planets. These are pockets of wildlife, and that wildlife does not appreciate being turned into tonight's special. Also, of course, tons more resources too. I actually thought I was kind of prepared for the planet. I crafted up a nice rusty knife. I was not. I was knocked out for a few hours immediately. Turns out that knife or my backup spatula, questionable weapon choices. But I think out of all of the characters then, what actually really caught me off guard, kind of weirdly as well, is romance is on the menu too. You'll meet all sorts of characters out here, and well yeah, if you play your cards right, you can cook your way straight into their hearts. The game even gives you multiple dialogue options to shape how these interactions unfold. So they could be flirty, friendly, or just desperately trying not to look like an idiot. That unpredictability, flying out blind and discovering something new each time, it gives exploration this really fun sense of adventure. You never quite know if you'll return home with new ingredients or get knocked out. And that flow, work, explore, upgrade, repeat, is where the progression system here comes alive. Every activity builds skills in one of a few areas. So you got cooking, combat, farming, exploration, and mining. Now, all of these level individually, which means every task pushes something forward, even if you're just still, like me, learning the ropes. And back at base then, the cozy loop will finally take over, which many of you will be looking for. You're decorating the trailer, you're placing appliances, you're unlocking areas, you're turning a cramped kitchen into an actual business. My place currently looks like someone's tried minimalism but forgot to add style, but it's home. What has impressed me most though was when I opened the pause menu, which I know sounds a little bit weird, bear with me here. There is a list here and it basically says what you found and what you've not. And well, let's just say after a couple of hours, I've got a hell of a long journey ahead of me. So bear with me here, but here we go. There's 88 creatures, I've seen 5. 109 ingredients, I've cooked with 5. 150 recipes, I've unlocked 3. There's 43 materials, I'm sitting at 7. There's 114 blueprints, I'm currently at 9. On top of this then, 86 locations to uncover, I found 8. 30 unique people, and 26 farming items. So again, you can see, long road ahead. And the last thing I do want to say then about that kind of core experience then, the game also has a solid sense of humour running through it. It kind of anchors this universe, and that is through a radio. It plays as you explore, text only, hinting at nearby trouble or new ingredients to look out for. But the first host, it's actually Carnage, which caught me completely off guard. And now if you do know him, you know he's a legend in the streaming world, so seeing a cartoon version of him pop up in this space adventure was definitely unexpected. And on that note of cartoon style, visually I do like this style a lot. Cartoonish, colourful, bold character designs, and just enough grit in the environment to feel hand-touched rather than just copy and pasted. You know, your trailer starts dingy and it's definitely cramped, but it's slowly getting more impressive, and the planets, the bars, the stations, each so far has had its own personality. The soundtrack topping it off then leans chill and cozy as you would expect. You know, a relaxed background rhythm doesn't get in your way. That's going to really accompany that cooking or gathering, and it definitely manages to keep things fun when you're in that kind of full adventure mode. Finally, performance-wise, again, as I said at the opening, this is a Switch 1 game, but I've been playing with backwards compatibility on Switch 2, and it's run perfectly. You know, fast loads, that's good because there's actually one each time you leave or visit a new location, and it's all responsive. So good news. Overall, early impressions, they've been positive. You get that nice balance of peace and panic. One moment you're rearranging kitchen furniture, the next you're trying not to become food yourself. The amount of content as well that the game suggests is coming, impressive. And the loop, oh yeah, it's as addictive as you would expect. You know, one more delivery, one more ingredient run, one more upgrade. So if you do want a cozy game with a dash of action, a mix of cooking, progression, and a galaxy to explore, I think Space Chef could be a great one to settle into. And if you do want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the pinned comment and description below. So maybe take a look at that next. Alright, once again, a big thank you to Quali for sponsoring today's video. Supporting the channel means a huge amount. And if you did enjoy this one, hit subscribe. It helps me out a huge amount. Alright, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers all.